This topic is what makes the biggest difference? Answer easy, love. That is really what affects people the most and changes things the most. And let me give a quick example of this. A bunch of friends of mine and I, we were going to we were at a spiritual conference, and they featured a very famous bishop and a very famous monk, and those were the speakers. And then there was a lunch break. 90-something% of the time, lunch is included when you go to something like this. Or if it isn't, they tell you to bring something. They didn't tell us. And there was no way to buy food or get food, and we were starving. And there was an older woman who saw us and saw we had nothing to eat and said, I got a bunch of oranges I brought. Would you guys like one? And, you know, she told us about how she always packs something extra just in case somebody doesn't have something to eat. Somebody either didn't get the word or forgot that there was being no food. And that kindness, you know, I don't remember a word that bishop or that monk said that day. But to this day, so many years later, I remember the kind woman with the oranges. And that will always be the case. What makes the biggest impression is the love that you give. There may be people watching this video that have ministries. And sometimes people doing ministry get caught up in doing so many things, or they think that what they're there for is so many things, and it always comes down to loving the person in front of you. It's what makes the biggest difference in their lives and in every case. Better example, or even bigger example of this, is my grandma and my grandpa. My grandma and my grandpa, you see this picture? This is not the way it was. They would fight like cats and dogs. I mean, it was really something to see. I mean, when you'd be with them, it really looked like a case of she would be tormenting him. You know, there's like nothing this man could do right. You know, like he didn't fold the napkins right, didn't get the right size plates, didn't cut the cake the right way. And he never really made a big deal out of it. You know, he would roll his eyes. From what I understand, he would get his licks in when nobody was around. But anyway, there was no calm, loving, you know, kindness there. And my grandma passed before he did. And when she died, because of the way she was capable of tormenting him, we all thought that he would be like, free at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. No. After she passed, one thing that he locked in on, okay, that he focused on, that he never let go of, was the last words that she said to him. You know what they were? Did you eat? He always told us about how that was the last thing she said to him. Did you eat? He interpreted it as she really cared about me. She was concerned for me. She wanted to make sure I was eating. And that taught me something. Because at the end, he didn't go back on. He never had a bad word to say about how she tormented him. He always focused on that last thing. It was the loving gesture, or maybe as much of one that was capable of being there. Who knows? But it's the truth. It's the truth. The love, it's the good things we remember, and it's the love that makes the biggest difference. Hope you're motivated to go for that.